Welcome, everybody. Here we are, another Tuesday, another template, and another question. Hen W. Wagner, you know that you can rip fabric to get the straight of grain. Yes, you can. Can you rip it lengthwise? Yes, you can. I have done it. It has worked for me pretty much every time I've tried it. So if you're worried about it, just take a salvage edge, get real close to the salvage, rip it down, and make sure it works for you. How is that, MW? And I want to welcome everybody this afternoon. It's evening here, actually. Charlene's joining us from Colorado, MW, Kansas, Linda from Illinois, Linda Shell from New York. Janice is in Massachusetts. Diane is another Massachusetts. And here we go. Okay, Jeannie from Mount Vernon, Washington. Lois is Delaware. Evelyn, hello. And Teresa is in Utah. Hi, I got to tell you guys something. It's really sad. Okay. Hi, Jan. Hi, Regina. EK, Teresa, okay, awesome. Geraldine, Terry, hi. Hi, Debbie. Okay, are you guys ready to hear my sad news? Hi, Ara. I have nobody to monitor my texts tonight. Can you all hear me? Hi, Wanda. I thought I turned everything on. If you can hear me, please let me know that. Otherwise, I need to do something different, okay? Okay, thank you, Terry. Thank you. Ada, hi, welcome. So I will try to keep up on comments tonight. But since my whole family abandoned me, I mean, my son in law, and husband are down watching a car race. Obviously, they think the car is more important than me. My daughter is out for dinner tonight. Karen, welcome. Jan, Judy P, you're here too. Wonderful to see you. So tonight, what we have got is Circles on Quilts Spinning Wave 9. When I started this project, I thought to myself, there's not going to be a template out there that I can't talk on for at least 30 minutes, maybe more, right? Then I started pulling the spinning waves out. We've had one already, and today is our second one. Well, let me give you some good news. We actually can talk for an hour on this one. All of our spinning waves, and there are 12 of them. They're all listed here on the back. We'll get you in. There we go. They are all made to work on a pin. What I love about them, and I did put staple tape on both sides. Okay. Hi, Holly, Vancouver Island. Wonderful. Matt Hilda is here from Australia. Pamela, Quebec. Hi, Linda. I'm glad you made it, Linda. Um, I don't get supper tonight. It's just one of the perks is not having anybody home. I don't have to cook. Maybe a bowl of ice cream later. We'll see. Anyway, these are actually a lot of fun to use. They work perfectly on a 12-inch block. And you can see some of the designs here. And what is really kind of fun is you could go ahead and mix and match these. These arrows are genius. They help to keep me lined up where I'm supposed to be on which arrow. Then what you're going to see is you're going to see all these 1/4-inch markings, and we can use those in a plethora of ways. Tonight, however, I'm not going to be using a whole lot of these. simply because we're going to run out of time like we always do. So here's a beautiful picture of some of the things that can be done with them. We have our circle in the center, and let's take a look at where we're going to start. What I want to do is start with basically the easiest one, and that's just right here. I took an 8 reference line, and I just did this the wave in one direction on each line. So let's go ahead and we're going to do that. I'm going to put the template down on the tab. I'm going to line it up. Kathy, you're fine. You're fine. It's so nice to see everybody. So nice. Okay, so if we line up this straight arrow and the second line here and here, of course, all the way down, what we're going to end up with is our basic design. So let me show you that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull my thread up. And this is very similar to the Tacoma. If you want, you can go around and put this entire circle in first, then come back and sew out. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that because I really want to get to some of these designs. Okay, down we go with our foot, and I did already check my foot height and make sure everything was good. Take that one stitch in place, line my template up. Now this is a curve, so of course I'm going to keep my stitches just a little bit shorter and get rid of that. This is just a practice piece. I'm not concerned about it coming unstitched. Now, remember how I've told you in the past, I like to use both hands, one on the right hand side, one on the left hand side. Obviously, I don't want to use no hands. That would be a disaster. But what I like to do, the reason I like to do too, is because I'm I'm holding this finger on the edge while I'm putting my other fingers over my stable tape. And I probably should put one more in there because my hand does not fit from beginning to end. And then I like to put my right hand holding the template over here. So if I find that my right hand is stronger and wants to push a little bit, you'll see I've got my left hand holding that template so it doesn't go anywhere. The ideal is don't push it either way. Now, if you're a beginner or if you've been doing this for years, sometimes you're just going to push it. You just have to push it. I don't know why. I try not to. I try to be very careful, but doggone it, it happens. So what I'm doing here, we have two options. I can come all the way out to this edge and go ahead and stitch over, or I can double stitch back. And I think I'm going to opt for the stitching back. And the reason being is twofold. One, I really like that strong look of thread here. I've got a beautiful dark green fabric and white thread. And you can see how much of that white thread is lost with just one layer of thread. But when I put that second layer of thread, it just commands attention. Doesn't ask nicely, it just commands it. And when your stitching is as beautiful as all of you ladies do, you want that to be the star of the show. So here I am back at the beginning, needle down. You'll notice I have my 301 back. Yay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to twist my template, line it up, and stitch over to the next reference line. Okay, hi, Lord Janice, you made it. Mary Lou, my goodness, you guys, we've got Canada well represented tonight. Hi, Lori. It's so much fun to see where everybody's from. Now, two other lines on here that I should mention. When we have an 8-point rotation, what's going to, or I'm sorry, 16-point rotation, we're going to see these lines on the ruler lining up beautiful with our reference lines on our block. So we've got 3 ways of knowing we're lined up correctly. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And I guess we really could say we've got a lot more because we've got all of these over here too. But I don't think it's necessary to use all of them when we've got the majority of them right here. So again, that first stitch in place. I'm going to move my hands just a little bit. Sometimes it's just a little tricky because we're working around our cameras. And I have 3 of them set up because tomorrow morning we're going to be doing the artisan sampler set, and I need to have different areas set up. Okay, take a stitch and head back. Now, if you want to be sure that you head back in a particular spot, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to measure out or put a little arrow on your, a little arrow sticker on your template so you know where to stop each time. And here we go, almost back to the beginning. Move my hands carefully because I don't want to move the template. Have I ever done that? You know I'd be lying if I said no. It happens. It happens to all of us. So here we're going to go one more time. Remember, we're lining up all of these beautiful marks that Leonie West gave us to be sure we were where we needed to be. And we're just going to do one more of these. I need to move my hand over here. It kind of got caught up in the camera stand there for a second. If you need to, if, for example, right here, you see where my line isn't perfectly straight, no big deal. I can smoosh it, and smoosh is a very technical sewing term, or I could leave it. And the reason why is, 1, it wasn't off hard enough to worry about, and it's going to disappear anyway. So I guess that's one of the benefits of using the chalk. I'm using my chalk aligner tonight. I find I've been using my compressed chalk mechanical pencil more than in the past for a project I'm working on. And I've got to be honest with you guys, I love that chalk aligner so much better. It's so much easier to get all the marks off. I'm just not an eraser kind of gal. When I'm done, I want to be done. I want to move on to the next fun thing that we have planned here. Okay, and back to our beginning. So you'll see here, I'm going to move it back so you can see a little better. There we go. It's just kind of a very smooth, flowing design, and I really like that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and I'm going to flip it over. Hopefully I can find that tack again. Well, I think I can find it again. It's right there. There we go. Oh, see, I'm lost without Ken. Okay, so now this is just a tad bit tight here, but that's not a problem. I'm just going to stitch over 1 or 2 stitches until it fits nicely. What was happening here is I was having to push here on the template to get everything lined up with this line. And what you're going to see is it looks okay right here. I'm going to back you up because I really want you guys to see this. Okay, it's lined up great right here. But look at how far off. We're 1/4 of an inch off at this end by not double checking these reference lines and all the way down. So it's really important to make sure that you've lined up these reference lines all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to up the design with this one just a tad. Okay, now this to me is definitely a design for templing. I think it's just beautiful. It gives you a lot of opportunities to templing. And we're going to come in and almost close that off. And if you do close it off, well, that's fine too. It's not going to hurt anything. And here we're going to come out to our halfway point, which is about where I stopped. I'm just kind of guessing on it tonight. If this were a quilt square or a quilt that I was doing, then I would definitely be more careful to make sure that I've got a arrow sticker on here. Okay. And up we're gonna go again. And we're almost there. Now, the cool thing about this, as I was looking at this the other day while I was getting ready, wouldn't it be cool to template the outside and leave the inside in? That certainly can be done. Okay, now we're going to back it up this way. If you are like me and the right hand, I just feel more comfortable holding the template in my left hand. You can easily swing your block around and hold it in your left hand. Okay, so I hold it this way no matter what way is more comfortable. And the reason that I do that is so that you guys can watch. You'll get a better view of it. You'll see me make mistakes clearer. And that's always a good thing. Yes, Janice, this does remind me of the honeycomb. It's very, very similar. Oh, Lori, I'm sorry. This is the Spinning Wave, Circles on Quilts, Spinning Wave 9. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. Oh, I see our Chatterbox is here. Chatterbox Quilts is here. Welcome. I'm so glad you stopped. Sandy, yes, Spinning Wave 9. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Guess what I'm going to be doing later tonight? I'm going to be making some of that glue-based. You guys want a great recipe for glue-based? Go to Chatterbox Quilts. You will find one, right? Okay. Yeah, she makes the best. It's the only way I do prepare my quilts for when I'm putting them together. I find it's nice and easy. The only difference that I do is I use vodka instead of rubbing alcohol because I have a sensitivity to smells. Vodka does not smell. And if I get desperate, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. but I do go and buy the cheapest bottle I can find at my big box store. And I come home with it. My husband just looks at me and shakes his head because I don't drink alcohol. So it's kind of a joke when I do go to the store and buy it. And I tried some of the fancy flavored vodkas. Nah, it just buy the cheap stuff. It's the same if you like using that. I know that rubbing alcohol is how it started, though. And back we're gonna go. And we're gonna stop right there. And I'm going to do the last one. Isn't this beautiful? And you'll start seeing some secondary designs in here too, which I really, really like. Okay, and then in the center, you could put a mini spin effects. Put one of the 1.5-inch spin effects in there. And that would be just so cute. Okay, down and around, taking my time. I think that's probably the most important thing. When we're getting to this part of our project, I know we want to get finished up. And sometimes maybe have a tendency to hurry just a little more than we should. I find personally that this is my most relaxing portion of the project. And there's a few people here tonight that would attest to that, right, Janice, Chris? And Janice, Chris, Wanda's here, yeah. Oh, Kim, you changed your name. You're right. Yeah. No, we ain't drinking it here either. Yeah, it just eliminates that smell. Especially when I had the quilt shop, I kind of was uncomfortable with people coming in and having a strong odor of rubbing alcohol. They'd probably start looking for the body. Oh, just kidding. Okay, so here we go. Is that gorgeous or what? Now, like I was saying before, I would try something really unique and cut away this portion. I did not, unfortunately, put a reveal fabric in tonight's alcohol abuse, Sandy. Very good, very good. Hi, Mary and Mike B. Mm-hmm. Alcohol abuse. I know somebody else who would say that, but he's not here tonight. Okay, so we showed how you can take just one simple design, and you saw how easy that was. And you know what? What really impresses me with this one, you all know that if I talk, I go off template. I mean, it's just me. This one, I stayed on the whole time. Aren't you proud of me? Hi, Pam. Bonnie's here. How are you, Bonnie? My husband, my son, and my son-in-law are down in Slinger, Wisconsin. That's closer to Bonnie's territory. Okay, so what we did on this one, and this is the one we just finished right here. What I did on this one was I did 16 reference lines, but I skipped every other reference line on it. I know this is kind of hard to see, isn't it? Well, let me go ahead and do it then. We've got time. So let me go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and we'll use this for number 1. Let me think this through. Yeah, let's use this for number 1 because I want to keep the 32 reference lines over on that side. Okay, so we're basically going to do what we just did, only we're going to do one of it. Now this one, what I want is I do want these to touch each other. Okay, so if I want those to touch each other, what I need to do is I need to make sure that my chalk line here is on the bottom of my line on my template. Okay, because if this line on the template is on the top, sorry, the bottom, I was right the first time, the bottom is going to come closer to this reference line. You would think that this would be really easy to do and make sure that they touched each other. After all, I was lined up, correct? This is my 1/4 inch from my needle, correct? And that's all true. The one thing that I think we forget most, clear to the end, it would close up. You're right there, 2 MW. But I think what we tend to forget is that these lines have dimension to them. Granted, it's a small dimension, but it does have dimension. When I use my chalk liner, and I love my chalk liner, is thicker than if I use my pencil. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so here is my worn out pencil. Okay, and I'm going to have to go a couple times on there. You can see that. Good. Now I come and I always do this with my chalk liner. If I did a single stroke of that pencil, it is thinner than the chalk liner. Here I went over it a couple of times. It's actually thicker than the chalk liner. So we do have that dimension, and we want to be, just cognizant of it. It's not that you have to try and figure out how to make this line as thin as a thread or anything like that. But you just want to make sure when you're lining up, I need to pull that out a little bit, that we are lining it up correctly. So here we go. Put that in. See if we've got any. Linda Dean is here from El Paso. Oh, El Owasso. I was going to say El Owasso. Hi, Julie. Julie is another one in my town here. I get a lot of girls in my town like to stop in, and it's really appreciated. And Kim, I'm very honored to have you here too. I've been watching you for years. You're just wonderful in my eyes. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to do that double. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull it up. Last week we had a little giveaway. Linda Shell won it. This week I've got a question for you for a giveaway, but I'm going to wait just a little while. Okay, here we go. Now I'm starting right on that line. Go ahead and get rid of this. There we go. Try not to move that template. If you do, just smoosh it back. You'll be good. Okay, so this is where I want to make sure that I'm touching the line. And I am on this one. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I am going to flip my template I notice I'm not going to double stitch this one. Be a little different. I'm going to make sure that I am lined up appropriately. Where there's my little space gauge. I knew I had it. I'm going to put it in here. Now, if I need to, I can just back that up a little tiny bit and it's not going to hurt anything. I'm not going to worry about up here until we get up there. So here we go. Keep those threads just, or those stitches just a little bit shorter. And there we go. It's perfect. It went in perfectly. Now I'm going to stop here. I'm going to take my spacing gauge and I'm going to actually come out a little more than I want to. So I'm just going to go ahead and give her a little tug there. And believe me, that was a little tug, not very much to it at all. Come back up and it ended up perfectly, exactly where I wanted it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this all the way around. That I don't have to take the template off, because getting them on these machines sometimes can be difficult. Okay, so now I'm using that center and I'm skipping one line. And we're going to go all the way over to the next line. You know, if you wanted to do this with a circles on quilts coming around the outside of this, you could do this all over your quilt top. It really would work and it would look nice. Okay. There, I knew I had an arrow here from something I was doing today. So we're going to stop right there to remind myself, because I've got a good memory, but it is short. Okay, and off we go. And don't forget, stitch at the speed that you're comfortable with. Okay? Quite honestly, my group here in my hometown, we've been sewing together for many years now, every other week. They all kind of laugh at me because I'm the slowpoke of the group. I stitch very slowly. And I always joke that we live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We do everything slow up here. It's just a slow way of life. I'm fine with that. Okay, come down. I love it when a plan comes together. Those came together so pretty. And this, to me, is another great opportunity to template. You could also break out your Intense pencils if you wanted to. And now you can see where you can make it shorter. You can make it longer. You can make 3 full camel humps, aren't they? They're kind of like camel humps, but they wouldn't work very good, I don't think, for clamshells, or would they? I haven't tried that. Oh, but that would be cool. So we're going to go over to the next one and we're going to try something that I didn't try earlier when I was preparing, but that's okay. I know you guys like to see it if I try something and it didn't work out right. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Gidget, welcome. Rhonda's here, another Michigander. You are a slow stitcher too. You know, you're absolutely right. You need to be comfortable. That's the important thing, is to be comfortable. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that back in there if I can find it. There it is. I'm going to come over here. Okay. And what I'm going to do Now, what was I going to do? Can't remember. Well, oh yeah, I think I know. What I was going to do was come on the other side, and I don't think that'll work. Okay? It was a thought, it was a good thought, but it's not going to work. Okay, I would need to have a different type of template. Okay, so now we've skipped one again. This is going to be our last one on this type. And you'll see that even though I turned my template over, oh, I have to move the camera too, I'm sorry. I can still see my sticker, my little arrow sticker. I use those things all the time. Okay, we're going to stop at the sticker. We're going to go ahead and we're going to flip our template again. And I don't normally turn my project this much, but I want you to be able to see everything I'm doing. Full transparency here, guys. I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay, here we go. Up to the top. Okay, oh, there we go. All right. Now, what I was thinking of doing, take this off. Just totally take it off. And then what I was thinking about doing is coming back here but yeah, that won't work. What I was going to try and do is get it to come in doubles, but I don't know unless we come out here. Let's try it. We've got nothing to lose, right? There we go. So I'm going to just come down. I'm going to come all the way up. Back down. So we're going to give it one more curve. Okay. Now you'll notice I've got it a little wider. There we go. Line that line up. One of the reasons I like my Juki, I don't have to worry about a needle up, needle down function. I don't have to be my own needle up, needle down. Okay, so now we're just going to come in. You should have my 12-inch arc out for this. So, yeah, I guess with some maneuvering that can be done, you guys. Hi, Teresa. You're absolutely right. If you watch me, you're going to notice I do a whole lot of making mistakes. But yeah, that it needs to be adjusted a little bit. But you know what? That's pretty. I like that. If we I have to now. I'm going to have to figure that all out because you do have to take the template off of the pin in order to do it. What is the measurement of an individual teardrop in length? Okay, let's try that and take a look, okay? Janice always tries to stump me. I love you, Janice. You're awesome. Okay, in length. Interesting. 1, 2, and 7/8. Oh, Tip, stop it. Go get your ball. Somebody's upset Dad's not home. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's 2 and 7/8. Exactly. Now, I probably would have made it 3 because that's just me. I round up. Although I love math, fractions don't bother me. So I think that this is one that we can definitely work with, and we'll come up with something for it. Watch my YouTube channel or watch the Facebook. Excuse me, just 1 minute. We're going to take care of this. She gets upset when Daddy's gone. Okay, there we go. All righty, now we're going to come to this one. Okay, this is a lot of stitching, but the reason that I especially love this one is all of the secondary designs that are going to come out of it. She knows she's got me now. Okay, so what I've got here is 32 reference lines. I know everybody is doing the same thing. The stitched out oval, Lois, let's take a look. But you all are going, 32 reference lines. That's way too much. Okay, so it's 2 3/4, it looks like. Yep, definitely 2 3/4. So that 7/8 is just to make that curve tight. If she had put it at 3 inches, each one would then it would be off more than this way. So yeah, she's a smart one, not me. So she knew what she was doing. Okay. Now we're going to stick this back on. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I am going to just stitch out a little way and then stitch back. And I'm stitching to my first reference line of 32 reference lines. Okay, here we go. And on this one, I'm going to stop on the arrow. Okay. Now I'm going to stitch back to the center. I was wrong. Back we're going to go. Remember, if you're unsure of what you're going to do, don't take your hands off the template until you know for sure which way you were going to go. Okay? It's going to be to your benefit. All right, so we're going now to the second line of 32. And now I am going to lift my template up and I am going to put it back in. I'm going to realign my template on the second line. I'm trying to line it up on the first, and I know better than that. And now we're going to come down. This right now is not going to make a whole lot of sense. but it will start making sense shortly. And we're going to go back to the center. You know, this would make a cool Christmas tree decoration. If you were stitching on a panel or something for a Christmas tree. Kind of like that. Reminds me of the old Mercury ornaments that my mom had. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, take it off and flip it, not twist it, flip it. And okay, there we go. I have to be careful because I have the, I did get down to my next one. I have the short throat with the 301. Okay, so we're going to stitch to the next line. And we're going to come down. I know we're going over a lot of lines here. It's going to be worth it in the end, though. Okay. Whoops. What'd I say? Don't take it off until you know, right? And there I did. I took it off. Okay. I thought I was doing one of the other ones. No worries. Look at that. That is not because of my skill, guys. That is because these templates are so well made. There we go. Wow, I wouldn't have given you a dime to say I could do that. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to the next one. Yep. And now we're going to go down and back on this. And this design doesn't really start progressing the way you think it would. When I first was testing this out, I really expected to see something more a lot earlier than I did. As a matter of fact, I almost said, oh, this isn't going to work anyway, so we're just not going to do it. But I'm really glad that I kept it up and kept going with it, because I like what happens to it. Okay, so now I'm going to use the top. I'm going to stitch to the next line. And we're going to pick it up, turn it over. If you have a machine with a larger throat, it should be a little easier. Okay, let's see. What are all the other lines used for on the template? It is to, you can use this as just a wave. So what I'm saying is, instead of putting this on the pin, you can use this part of the template alone and just go ahead and use your lines to move up and up and up and up. And I'll show you a little bit of that when we get a few more of these rotations in. Okay. Does that make sense, MW? Okay, Kim, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope we get to see you again. Take care, okay? Yeah, we're going to, MW, we are going to do that. That was this one, so now I want to do this one. Trying to keep my lines. There is so many lines in here that is the one disadvantage. You can lose your spot. Okay, we're going to come down to the end and back up. And nice swoopy. I just made up another technical term, swoopy. Okay, let's add that to our dictionary of technical terms. Okay, back up to the top. And you see what's happening here? It is just really, really coming beautiful. Okay, take that off, put it back on. Now we're going to come. Oops, got my finger caught there. Okay, and we're going to do our next line. I had to have missed a line in here. I had to have missed it. Because there is definitely a kind of a whole area there that doesn't belong there. I told you, me talking and trying to stitch sometimes doesn't work really great for me. And I will apologize to my ill-mannered buddy here. She normally does not bark when I'm online. Only when I'm on the phone. Like a child. Okay. So you'll see what's going on here is a whole lot of extra stuff. And there's the one I can tell you exactly where I missed right here. This should have come to a halt there. And you know what? I think we can still do it though. Let's see. Let's put it on and see if we can fix it. Okay, guys? Oh, thank you, Aura. Yeah. Okay, Carla. Yeah, definitely come back and see it. And I always like to tell you guys, if you have questions, you're not sure of what we did, or you're trying to replicate it and things aren't just coming out perfect, don't worry. You can always get a hold of me. That is definitely something you can do. Okay, so what's going on here? In order to get that one to close up, that'll work, I think. I think it'll work. Who was it who said they like to see us make mistakes? You'll never lack for mistakes when you're watching me, right? It's okay. I don't mind. I'm human. Okay, there we go. All lined up. And look at here. It's going to come right into place for us. Perfect. And back in we're going to go. So you see, if you miss one, it's not the end of the world. You can always go back and do it again. There we go. Isn't that amazing? I just love this. I really, really do. You know, Lori, you're right. This definitely is a great template. So far, I have been so thrilled with the spinning waves. Now what we're going to do, we got a few minutes left here, and I want to make sure we do three things, okay? First, we need to make this a straight line template. Because MW, I did tell you I would do that. I have not forgotten. I'm going to take the tack out though, so I don't end up with it in my hand or my foot. Usually it's my foot. I'm just one of the lucky ones, I guess. Okay, I'm going to make some marks here. We're just going to make some straight lines to start with. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the third line. And pull my thread up. And down we go. Okay. Stitch one stitch in place. Remember, I like toe catchers, and if I do that, I tend not to have toe catches. Okay. Let's keep going here. Okay, so this time I'm not going to stop at the arrow. Ooh, you guys, I must have bumped this. I'm sorry. Let's stop at the bottom part. Okay, so there's row 1. And you'll see I started a 1/4 of an inch away. I ended a 1/4 of an inch away. So that's important, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch straight up. I'm going to use this line to make sure I stitch straight. You know, just because this is made to be used a different way doesn't mean we can't use it the way we want. And I'm going to go that far. That's totally arbitrary, okay? I'll be honest with you. Okay, we're going to go another stitch. There we go. What I'm looking for here, I'm going to take this off so you can see. I wanted to make sure I was seeing what I wanted to see here. So how I'm lining this up. There we go. When I lined the first line up, I went 1, 2, 3. So I put the third line on my drawn line. Now I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to go up just a little bit. I'm going to go 3 quarters of an inch again, because each of these is 1/4. So I started here. I'm going to go 1, 2. Oh, I need to go up a little higher yet. I'll just go up. We can always come back down, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm putting this line down at the 3/4 of an inch. Going to make sure that I'm lining up here and lining up here. This would be a great time to get your vis-a-vis markers out and mark this valley. I call this the mountain, and this is the valley. So it would be a great time to do that. I'll come back down, meet my template. Now, another way you can use another set of landmarks is you can line up the top of your previous row. Because we're going 3/4 of an inch, I know that I'm ending up 3/4 of an inch because I have a 1/4 of an inch from my needle to the edge of my foot. I'm sorry. And then I have a 1/4 inch from the edge of the template to the first line, and down to the second line is another 1/4 of an inch. So here we go. Whoops. Awesome. MW, I really appreciate you asking me this, because I haven't done this yet. See, I learn along with you guys. And you're so patient with me. I so much appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to stop here. And here we go. I'm going to come up again about 3/4 of an inch. If I want to make sure I'm straight, well, pretend if I have a seam here, I want to stitch in the ditch. Just hold your straight edge next to it. It always helps. Okay. So now I need to go 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. So here's 1, here's 2, and my foot is going to be my 3rd. So I'm lining everything up here on the previous row of stitching. Is going to just graze the top of those hills. And off we're going to go. And we've got another 3/4 inch. Can you imagine how quickly you could get through a whole quilt doing this from edge to edge? It would be a breeze. Now, if you want to add some fanciness to it, I'm going to stop right here. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Lori, watch it many times. Yes, you can MW. She said, if you're going in an entire circle, you could go around and do one direction, then come back and do the other direction all the way around. And you certainly can, definitely. So what I'm going to do now, just for grins and giggles here, I'm going to flip this template. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is an inch. So I want to back this off a little bit. I want these to overlap. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. No, I'm going to put a 1/2 an inch because I want them to overlap 3/4 of an inch because that's the measurement that we're using on this. Will this work? We're going to find out right now. Okay. Come down. And here we go. Oh, you guys, I'm loving this. Absolutely loving this. I will say one thing. When you get yours, put a piece of stable tape in the center as well. I only have them on the 2 ends. I definitely am going to put that center one in as well. Okay. And don't forget, put them on both sides. Now look at that. Isn't that awesome? If you had a border, this would be perfect on a border, wouldn't it? Okay, now we're going to stitch up to the next one. And we're going to 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, look at that. You guys, I didn't even try that, and it went perfect for me. The sewing gods are on my side tonight. Yay. Okay, so now let's go on up here. Whoopsie, I twisted my template a little bit. No worries, I'll just get right back on. I probably would not have done that if I had that 3rd piece of stable tape. I'm sorry, you guys. The dog just scared herself. Oh, I'll tell you, she's a piece of work, this one. Okay, and back down. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So, I guess we can use our spinning waves number 9 for straight line stitching too. This would be so pretty. It is pretty. I mean, it almost like a curvy egg and dart. You're absolutely right, Linda. You're absolutely. String of beads, Sandy, that looks great too. Yeah, there's a lot we can do. Thank you guys so much. Now we have two more things to do before we say goodnight, real quick. One of them is to pick out next week's template. What are we going to get? Ha ha! Circles on Quilts Wreath 6. We seem to be on a roll here with the circles on quilts, the spinning wheels and the wreaths. Thank you, Diane. Yes, Terry, I think that would look great in a border as well. Now, I'm going to ask you a question for a fabulous prize. Okay, it's not that fabulous, really. It's just fun to do, okay? And whoever can answer this question is going to get the gift, okay? Who went to the race with my husband tonight? Now, I said it a couple times, so I hope somebody picked up on it. Wanda, you probably know. And if you're the first one to get, okay, he went with two people. No, Bonnie, Sarah didn't go. Sarah's out having dinner. Ah, Debbie did. Debbie got it. Our son and son-in-law. Awesome. Debbie, I've got your address, so you don't even need to send it to me. You guys, I love that. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a blast tonight. I could do this for another couple hours, but you all know that about me, right? Tomorrow morning, if you're around, and that'll be 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Mountain, and 6 a.m. Pacific time, we are going to do the Artisan Sampler, the 5-piece template set. And it has 5 different types. It's got a circle, an iris, a marquee, an oval, and a square. So hopefully you can join us tomorrow. Thanks, Linda. It'll be good to see you. And I hope you have a great night tonight. Oh, thank you, Ada. That's so nice of you. Don't forget, if you're on Facebook, like, subscribe, share, da da da, or not on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm sorry. Like, subscribe, and share. And hopefully next week I'll have somebody here to help me with the comments. One of them better stay home next week, or I'm going to have to get tough with them. Oh, thanks, Linda. We'll see you tomorrow, Terry. And until we meet again, what do I always say? Let's quilt.